Hi, you're watching BloombergQuint. Now, today we're going to talk about why the three big American giants are romancing Indian telecom. And by virtue of a brief introduction, though I'm sure you're following the news and you know all the numbers, you do know that in just about 2 months, Geo Platforms, which is a subsidiary of Reliance Industries, has raised 1 lakh crore rupees via an approximate 21% stake sale to a clutch of investors led by Facebook. Now, the social media giant was the first investor in Geo Platforms and has purchased the largest stake at approximately 10%. This Geo Facebook romance has been followed by rumors of a potential Google investment in Vodafone Idea, and then subsequently a potential Amazon investment in Bharti Airtel. Neither of those two deals are confirmed, and in fact, the Indian partners in both of those have said they're not in any conversation with any such investors. But as you know, there's rarely smoke without fire. So the question we're asking on this discussion today is, what's the end game here? Where is the revenue opportunity? Why are Facebook, Google, and Amazon romancing India's top 3 telecom companies, or the only 3 at this point in time? And joining me with some answers on this discussion, hopefully, is Harish Chawla. He's a well-known private and angel investor. He's partner at True North, the former CEO of Network 18 and Viacom 18. And a disclaimer at this point, at one time, my boss as well, Harish, thanks very much for joining us here on BloombergQuint. Yeah. The biggest deal, the one that is confirmed, the one that is consummated, is not just in the United States. So people what do you make of what Facebook wants out of such an investment?
So I think if you pull back and see what the war between the 4 global giants actually is happening, is that they are trying to create an envelope around each consumer, essentially create an ecosystem around the consumer so that they can naturally cross-subsidize new businesses and essentially partake of as much transaction revenue as they can. Remember, there is advertising revenue available, and that's a large pool today. But all of them realize that advertising, we've all become very clever at avoiding advertising. And slowly you'll find that it's becoming more and more expensive to find consumers digitally. Unless, and of course, people are doing social commerce or doing something viral. So therefore, it's going to be a stream that has a cap to it. But transaction stream all over the world is massive. Transaction, subscription, as we're seeing. So when you mention the 3, actually there's a 4th, which is Apple, which makes tons of money selling subscription, selling hardware, having retail as well. So each of them is trying to build an ecosystem around the consumer. Now, they have seen also in China how these ecosystems have evolved in large markets. Remember, America is still now just becoming mobile first, but China is the primary example of a mobile first digital economy. And there they've seen the rise of oligopolies, which are there is a Tencent ecosystem, there is Alibaba ecosystem, and there is a Baidu ecosystem. And each of these ecosystems is almost like a self-propelling network which has got massive network effect. It's got a wrap around on consumers in the form of, let's say, a WeChat app or a Alipay app. So I think it's very clear that the models of the future will evolve around consumers essentially buying into one or more of the ecosystems and spending their time and money in these. Actually, that's the way to pull back and see them. And they're finding ways to become even closer, become even more find a way to even get more intimate gatekeeping by essentially pushing voice. If you see what Google is doing, and Apple and Amazon, all of them are trying, is essentially saying, let's remove the screen as a layer itself. Let's become a zero screen company, where actually what happens is that you actually narrow the choices of consumer down. On a screen, you can visualize 20 choices, right? But with a voice system, you actually narrow their choices down so that they can dictate the choice. So essentially, really, I think there are 2 trends there. One is that you get close to the consumer and try and dictate their choices. Consumers are lazy, consumers have inertia, therefore, if it's convenient, if it's easy, you will naturally use that ecosystem because the payment is a link, right? Your profile is stored, your data is already available to them, so they can actually they know exactly what to tell you, that content. And the other is become as close as possible to the transaction revenue in this space. I think what you're therefore seeing is that Facebook is one of the companies that's been actually reasonably far away from the transaction space in the world. Uh, uh, in fact, if anything, I would say that they have been the least innovative with WhatsApp. I mean, the WeChat the future of WhatsApp is WeChat, but they have made very few moves towards it. And India presents a unique opportunity for all these companies. It's a large, one big market which is accessible to global players. I think we have the other thing that's happened is with COVID happening, I think we'll see a 2x to 3x jump in several digital services in India. I think that acceleration that would have taken maybe 5 years has happened in the last 3 months. So I think everybody is realizing that this market, two inflection points. One was the launch of Jio, which actually made digital wireless broadband so affordable, drove prices down, got adoption going, got video on mobile and OTT platforms going. And the second is COVID. When you put these two trends together, I think India has moved ahead by 5, 7 years in terms of what would have normally done as a digital ecosystem. And therefore, it's massively valuable to actually get a hook into this large customer base. Of course, we don't have the same spending power as China. We don't have remotely the same spending power as the US. But the ecosystems, once you get locked into them, they generate massive collateral value of your own. And therefore, those ecosystems are now sitting in a oligopolistic telecom market as well in India. That's readily available. If you look at it from their perspective, you need to make an ecosystem. India is a tough market to operate, doesn't have so much value to stop today. There are these three telecom players who have large weight in the market between 300, 400 million consumers, who are all becoming rapidly digitally savvy because of COVID. Uh, Also, it's a complex operating environment in the country. And therefore, some of these partnerships are naturally evolving. The Geo Facebook partnership, of course, is the fact that WhatsApp needs to find a revenue model. Like just providing free communication is not a business. And therefore, I think both parties have found partnership in that sense that there is almost 95 plus percent market share of WhatsApp in the country. That means Geo gets access to non-Geo customers. If you look at it that way,
Yeah.
Geo get access to non-Geo customers, which is actually almost 95% plus of the entire telecom market. Fantastic opportunity for Geo to bundle its services with WhatsApp. WhatsApp gets to play into a true transacting business, which it doesn't have. Also, WhatsApp Pay has been stuck. So some of these things will untangle themselves. And therefore, that's one partnership. Now, clearly, looking at this partnership coming together, other players have to make a move. You can't not build the ecosystem, right?
Right.
So that's, I mean, those are the driving factors in a sense, some global and some local, which have brought these players together, or will
Okay.
bring these players closer together.
A couple of quick follow-up questions on the things that you laid out. Firstly, I understand that viable revenue but give us a sense of how you put it together. Right? I think currently Facebook and the capital investors and investors who have diluted and working geo platform and now it is an entity that owns the entire bunch of reliances so OTT platforms, whether it's through music or through games or all of those. Plus, it also owns the entire telecom pipes business, right, which is the utility business. So to speak. And then it's got small investments in a bunch of AI players and things like that. Now, this entire platform, from what I can understand, dining where for 20-25% premium valuation that you have to get. Facebook invests in Geo, plus other investors, mostly private equity follow, at about a 20-25% premium to the other player in the market. And the big revenue opportunity probably is technologized retail. So I'm just trying to say, how does one understand whether these numbers make any sense?
Each companies, let's say, you need to stack them up. The utility comes at the base of the pyramid, for instance, the base of the
Right,
stack,
right.
where it's going to be, I mean, lower ARPU drives utilization, lower ARPU drives higher lock-in, and eventually all these companies are attempting to increase their ARPU. I mean, whoever is giving the opportunity, the fact that the market has become oligopolistic, is also giving them the opportunity to up their ARPU. As you see, Bharti has raised this actively in the last quarter. Clearly, now what you build about the stack will be right, will define the value that you get. Bharti so far has built very little over the utility stack, right? They have not added too many value-added services. I think Jio's desire is to build the stack above, and that means to build the stack above the utility. They already have the components of the ecosystem. They have the commerce components already available to the Reliance retail. They have done some work on even online retail, QAGU and stuff, right? They already have the content stack that they've been working hard on building for a while. Plus, they have actually at home and on mobile both, which are again equally strong. I mean, they still have to integrate these services well, but they have a reasonably large footprint coming through between them and Happy on the landline access, right? If you pick up the ecosystem, the fact is that the value really is from the top, and therefore to find a question of how much all these ecosystems are cross-subsidizing each other, and that's what we will see. You'll see Amazon cross-subsidizing Amazon Prime, Amazon cross-subsidizing free delivery. Between either a product or a service or a subscription, you'll see cross-subsidy happening. So therefore, you need to pull back and see the full stack. The full stack is really being built by Reliance, and you'll probably see Bharti on that front, or even Vodafone, depends on how Vodafone's future pans out. It is again probably a play for somebody to build a stack above it. So the base stack itself is valuable. Question back because you'll find ARPU going up. Even as they increase prices, I think you will discover that there is reasonable amount of elasticity in the system. I think consumers will pay for higher value services and more bandwidth, right? And therefore, I think that's the way to look at it. So we are seeing Reliance really bringing together its components of the ecosystem together, either through a WhatsApp interface or a GeoMart interface, right? And building a layer over the physical infrastructure. I think in that sense, the models will differ. It's a subject here. Amazon is actually the only company that directly handles moving between the global players. So there are fundamental differences. You can't say Amazon, Google, and Facebook in the same breath. Amazon is a company that leans forward, gets into the business, gets its hand dirty, whereas the rest of the company are really layered, digital layers over existing infrastructure in the world, ideally. Bunch of coders sitting in Silicon Valley who don't want to get deeply into transaction handling, merchandise handling, return handling, consumer complaint handling. So it's a fundamentally different model. Now, in India, actually now the whole battle will move between Jio as a platform and the ecosystem and the Amazon platform or even the Flipkart platform or the Walmart Flipkart platform. Because remember, at some point, transaction businesses will become the driver of the stack above the utility. So therefore, in a sense, the model, I'm not so sure as to how much value will be gained by Google or Facebook or, sorry, not Google or Amazon tying up with these platforms. Because remember, they're already large ecosystems. Yeah. But,
I think that's one of the things, right?
yeah.
What does the telecom player bring to? I get that e-commerce is the way to go for Facebook, for Google, and of course for Amazon that's already sort of reasonably well entrenched in that space. What does the telecom player bring? I understand 300, 400 million subscribers. Yes. Those subscribers don't necessarily use OTTs that are linked to the telecom service provider, right? So I'm not necessarily going to use.
Remember, that's why I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
The telecom players gets you access to that consumer, right?
Right.
It brings you optionality. Remember, they're not buying large stakes. They're buying 5, 10, 15% stakes, right? The partnership has optionality because remember that the way to access 300, 400 million customers and then launch voice-based access services. You see, it's like creating an envelope. I don't know how exactly the envelope will evolve. Every player isn't clear about that. But is it time for me to go and put a stake in the ground in a large, massive consumer base available? I get data from there. I get local knowledge. The Indian environment is complex to navigate. I got a partner to help me do that as well, right? And eventually, I am able to get closer to the transaction, hopefully, by either creating a layer or doing the transaction myself. I think you'll find that Google and Google will probably do a layer on the transaction. So when they get into, let's say, Vodafone, if that happens, if that deal happens,
Right.
they are, in a way, they will get closer to the whole data available from the utility. Right? They already
But the
have
data
it.
bit again. I get the data bit, Harish. I get that, the telecom service provider provides them a great amount of insight into usage patterns, etc., of the 300, 400 million customers they have. I get the data bit. I get that all these players eventually want to move to e-commerce. I get that WhatsApp needs to figure out a way to monetize itself. I'm just not, and what I'm not able to comprehend is how the marriage of, let's say, platform like Facebook or Google or Amazon with a telecom service provider actually leads to real revenue opportunities. I get where they are today. I get where they want to be. Just the road in between is not very clear to me, but you're saying there is opportunity there.
You'll find that there are so many collateral benefits to having these partnerships, even from a point of view of even handling the environment. Remember, there are licenses to be got. A local partner will help these companies navigate their way in India. I think, remember, that can be of immense value to these companies.
But you do remember Walmart Bharti, right? I mean, that local partnership never really did work in Walmart's favor. Eventually, Walmart exited and returned via Flipkart. So,
sure.
Tomorrow,
against that, there'll be several others that went successful. I think the fact is that they need relationships on the ground. Remember, these companies are run out of Silicon Valley.
So paying a 20% premium for a relationship, a potential opportunity and data sharing of some sort, you think that makes sense given the multiple opportunities that, sort of lay on the route, even though we can't see them immediately?
Absolutely. And remember that the voice war will come to India. I think let's remember that the voice war will come to India. That's got another play. We don't know how these services will get integrated with your telecom player. There are multiple ways to integrate them, right? So my sense is, if you put the whole package together, it's a market in which you need presence. It's a market which is lying, in a sense, the only accessible market in the world. Cash is available virtually free to these companies. Just put all these factors together, right? And you've seen Facebook make a move. You will want to come in and put your stake in the ground and not just stay back and just ship out code from there designed for India. You would rather have team on the ground here doing things.
You use the Chinese model. Is India I know that the China market's not entirely homogenous, but India is, far more fragmented as a market. So that's number of subscribers that we have. So that's the second hurdle. But you think these are all things that will get ironed out over time. It's the creation of the opportunity that these people are betting on, not the immediate revenue potential.
Yes, my sense is we were pre-COVID massively behind China. I think with this COVID and the ensuing, we'll see over the next few months as to how digital service will get adopted. My sense is there is no way we'll bridge the transaction value gap with China. But a bunch of learnings that are there from there will play out in the market. We are evolving in the same manner. Consumers, in fact, there are, China is a closed market where nobody else can operate. In India, there are many things that have changed which actually make it worthwhile for a Western company to be here. If you look at the whole UPI backbone, fundamentally new concept that not available in China, not available in the US either, right? So you will find that some of these services will actually get accelerated in India. So if we were 20 years behind China on the digital race pre-COVID, I think we're down to 10 years now. Because we will see a massive adoption difference now over the next few months.
And how monetizable are these OTTs? For instance, let me give you another question that was playing around in my head.
Yeah.
Let's assume that WhatsApp and Reliance Retail do manage to make a go of it. Right now, they're testing in about 7 markets, I think, or 7 areas. And not all the feedback is very positive. In fact, I was just reading a Jefferies report this morning that suggested that actually what they're doing is sending you a link to JioMart. And then you go to JioMart and you make the order and whatever. But let's assume WhatsApp and Reliance Retail crack it. What stops any other retail company from going to WhatsApp and say that, hey, why can't you push me as well? I mean, or why would WhatsApp not want to push? Like if I'm used to, shopping on Big Bazaar or Big Basket or whichever one you pick. they'll all want to be part of that ecosystem. So do you think exclusivity will work?
So even if the exclusivity is not there, the fact is that Jio is bringing its massive base of consumers with it, right? And my sense is WhatsApp. Remember today it's crazy. WhatsApp doesn't allow you to open a link within the same platform.
Right.
In a sense, remember that it's almost like ancient technology to not have a inbuilt browser into your platform. So I think some of these changes will happen within WhatsApp, and they will get accelerated. In fact, as somebody said, Jio is the startup here, and WhatsApp is or Facebook is the older company which has run out of innovative steam. So my sense is you'll find a lot of changes if WhatsApp really wants to become WeChat. I think they'll have to do massive changes around their own the way they run their app itself. And my sense is that when you combine these two, so remember that if you have 10 million customers and you combine with with WhatsApp, it's very different when you have 400 million customers and you combine with WhatsApp. Or WhatsApp brings you non geo customers. Remember, that's the value. The fact that you can deeply integrate. So I think we'll see this play out. I think next few months, I'm sure we'll see many ups and downs. These services take time to take off. Grocery has been the graveyard of many companies across the world. And Indian grocery specifically is very tough because the assortment changes every 50 kilometers.
Yeah.
So there is what we are seeing right now is an attempt to put a layer over grocery. Remember, under that layer, the Kirana store does exactly what they want. It is very difficult to get them to, keep their inventory data intact, make sure they scan everything, not deal in cash directly, not make bills. 40% of the inventory in the Kirana store is unbranded completely. So these are the challenges they will all these companies will face, and we've seen all of them have faced it. If you're talking about feedback on Jio, Big Basket had similar feedback when it began over the years. So these are tough, extremely tough transaction-heavy businesses, which really one company has really mastered globally, which is Amazon. Everybody else has had lots of trouble getting their way through these stages of the business.
Which brings me to my next question. How would you evaluate between these three, which one will probably work the best, assuming that they were all three to happen? You've got Geo Facebook. Let's assume that Google does bet on Vodafone Idea, assumption, and let's assume that Amazon does bet on Bharti Airtel, and that in each of these cases, we see the American giant buying a 10, 5, 8, 11% stake, almost like a financial investor, but hoping to find these synergies over a period of time. Will they all three arrive at the same outcomes? And will we be picking between three apples as investors, let's say, or will there be apples, oranges, and watermelons?
So, a difficult question to crystal gaze. See, the challenge is that the real segment is much smaller than the market is. E-commerce, if you put the whole grocery segment, whole groceries and food and overall retailing, digital is very, very tiny. Yeah. Actually, it's sub 2-3%.
Yeah.
Now, the holy grail everywhere is this whole market, right? Where you want to get the entire purchasing basket of a household and pass it through yourselves. So my sense is that I don't know how Google Vodafone will go. Let's get the easy one out. Google is not yet gone into handling transactions on their own. They will probably be one step removed from the merchandise. They will redirect merchandise. They will probably handle the payment as they're doing now. So there's a slight difference in how Google plays in India, unless they radically transform their strategy and decide they want to get into actually handling the merchandise. Amazon is very clear; it handles the merchandise. So if you look at the drivers of success, are actually in this business have been proven. Unless you handle the merchandise, unless you handle the return, unless you handle the delivery, it is very difficult to give a consistent experience to the customer. Many people have tried because the trust factor develops when you're dealing with the end company, and that's able to. I can get onto Amazon call and talk to that customer service operator, and he responds to me. He knows what I bought. He knows my order history, rather than me trying to coordinate this. So selling is very easy. Servicing is where the challenge is, where the depth of the organization actually shows up. So I think now you will find that between these two models, of course, there are a little bit of hybrid will happen. Even Amazon is trying to make a layer over Kirana stores, right? And even Jio is trying to make a layer over Kirana stores. Kirana store actually leads to a concept called is virtually infrastructure as retail. Because remember, the Kirana store already has a relationship with the customer.
Yeah.
His servicing is fantastic. He can actually give credit as well. So
yeah. And he can deliver within an hour. Right?
Exactly.
Within an hour without any extra effort.
Is there value in building a layer over Kirana? Yes, there is. Is it easy to do it? Not at all.
Yeah.
Because the behavior of these players will need massive transformation for them to be able to deliver service consistent with a full stack operation. Amazon a full stack operation, you will find the Kirana store you will find it will not be easy to make them fall in line with the rules of the marketplace, in a sense. The second thing is Kirana stores may also push back because remember that they don't want to lose control over their customers. A lot of startups have gone to Kirana stores and they've had their customers taken away. Right? So there is a little negative history that stays them. They've seen both technology solutions come and disappear overnight, right? Secondly, some technology players come and actually take away their consumers. So there is this. It's going to be a delicate ground for all these players. It's very difficult to. My sense is that both these companies, in the medium term, they have enough. There is enough space in the market for both of them to build reasonably large size businesses.
So Sorry, please go ahead. Please go ahead. No. You finish, then I'll ask you the question.
Yeah, so my sense is there is enough the space in the market for them to build reasonably large size businesses without really coming into conflict with each other. There is a Amazon customer profile, which is very different. You've seen how Amazon Prime is doing, what people are consuming there. They have high-end product selling, right? They're a little more, let's say, upscale audience there. And Jio will appeal to the masses, massive audience base. I don't think if they really want to, because you'll have to focus what you're building, right? You can't build a Louis Vuitton and build Walmart, right? So my sense is that I don't see any near term these companies really running into lack of space to grow. The losers in the market is what you need to think about. Is where the challenge will start, where the pressure will start building on the several offline players. That pressure is already. My sense is, again, COVID is playing into that pressure as well, because companies that thought they had some time to become digital suddenly are gasping for air. So if your organization is not flexible and not digital, right, both those things can come and almost, you'll be a walkover right now, right? So that's
the conventional brick and mortar you're talking about, right?
So it's a multiple.
The big one in the market right now is future retail, and we know it's struggling. So
so that's there, and you'll find that some of the formats will start struggling with COVID. You see, several other formats will start struggling. I mean, why would you not want all your trial rooms are going to not be easy to access, right? You'll either not want to access them. So is there a new model that'll come up in how to deliver apparel home, right? On how to make you try and buy. So there are several small shifts that will take place, but the market is massive for these guys to come head to head with each other for a while now. I think even for Jio Facebook actually make the whole partnership work, make sure that the system is smooth, delivery happens, they have the trust of the customer, the Kirana store. It's a long while. I mean, at least.
So how far out do you think a Facebook investment in Jio is from delivering any kind of tangible value or tangible outcome? Similarly, if by the end of this year we saw the other two players, get into bed with the other two telecom companies, what is the timeline we're looking at? 3 years, 5 years, for us to really figure out whether Facebook did really make a go of this coming together?
So let me put it in two parts. I think there is an economic value and there is strategic value. The economic value is there is no risk. Most of these companies are listed, right? COVID has made sure that the value will gallop away as ARPUs go up. So it's even if you buy a stake in Bharti today, the fact is that your stake is unlikely to go down in value.
Yeah, right? But let's assume that these people are not in the business of doing 10% stakes and 5% stakes.
I understand. Right? Therefore, it comes down to how you extract strategic value out of it.
Sure.
Now, that will all come down to execution, actually. Again, it's an easy answer there. But the fact is that strategic value to extract will come down to how closely they end up working and how flexible both these sides are to building things out. I mean, just remember that none of these things are rocket science. Everybody knew that you have to add layer of value. You can keep on creating new digital services over your utility platform, right? We all knew this. Has it been done? No, right?
Yeah.
So I think it will come down to how these players coordinate their how they use the data, how they attach their services to each other, how they create layers. So I think my sense is that some of these partnerships go nowhere, as we've seen. Nothing really happens. So these stakes are bought because they have tiny stakes, and a few years later they're sold again. But in some cases, you'll find that the partnership will get deeper, and really they will create a bundle that is almost seamless for the customer. I think and I don't see all three of them going that way. Maybe one or two may succeed there to create a seamless bundle.
So my next question will be which one or two, but before that, a quick short sub question there. We've seen Reliance build out this empire of content, commerce, all of that, which, like you said, they probably had the vision that all of this will ride on top of their pipes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But have we seen them bring it together to synergize it, to actually be able to monetize it together? Because they're still running in silos, aren't they?
No, therefore, it's not an easy thing to do. Remember, you have to run it in silos to make sure that you do that one job well, right? And equally, you make sure that your technology allows you to combine them. So even in Amazon, the cloud team runs separate from its music team, runs separate from its e-commerce team. So I think the combination comes on the final layer where it's simple but not easy. You basically bring all the interfaces together and combine them. My sense is that the pace at which Reliance has been moving, right, gathering the assets and gathering the thing, my sense is that it will take a bit of time before they're able to put everything into one seamless layer. And that's
but you think they'll succeed? But you think is there a model anywhere in the world where something like this is worked? Because I'm not sure. The few efforts we've seen of telcos get into content or telcos get into commerce, they haven't been runaway successes.
No, so again, it comes down to when it's a side effort. I don't think Reliance Retail is a side business for anybody. Remember, most of these efforts of running or combining or building these stacks have failed because they have become also run or also tried kind of businesses. When you have a full-fledged business with its full weight of operations, full weight of consumer trust, and then you combine it, it's a very different situation. So I agree it's not happened, but remember the combination is different. You're getting full-grown, mature businesses come and combine at the interface of the consumer.
So you believe from what you can see right now that Reliance is on the right track and can make a success of this. Obviously, if everything falls into place, it can make a success of this untested model before.
Yes, because it's got full stacks and everything. I mean, I'm giving you a theoretical answer to a very practical question because you'll have to see how it plays out, right?
Right.
How the interface becomes seamless. As you said, it's currently not seamless. Remember, even WhatsApp is not seamless. Whatever you do, you can't open anything within WhatsApp. The link takes you out, right? So my sense is that since they run full stack operations, chances of building a seamless envelope around the services are much higher, and making them successful are much higher, because at the least you're sure that a Reliance Retail customer may want to access them through their JioMart, right? Just remember the other way around. You have franchises within each of these stacks, right?
Right.
First, your job will be to take that franchise and digitally enable that, right? Rather than go out to absolutely new customer who doesn't know you from Adam, has not ever used your service. And that's a second stage. So my sense is that even this whole partnership, I think how much WhatsApp utility will come up immediately is not, because the first job will not be to get new customers through WhatsApp. The first job will be to service existing franchise customers through WhatsApp.
Yeah, which is what they're trying to do, I think, in their test phase right now.
Yeah.
With JioMart.
So remember that this is not some company saying I want to go and try some hand at retail. No, it's not. Because we've seen what has happened when you don't run a full stack. We've seen what happened with Airtel payments, for example.
Yeah.
We've not seen yet.
So the point you're making is they've got the parts. Now it's just the combining of those parts where they will be tested, really, so to speak. But because they've got the parts, they've got a better chance at this than anybody else.
And technology allows you to do this combination beautifully. Now, if it's done beautifully, it'll work. If it's not done beautifully, if it has breaks in it, customers have very little patience with technology, actually. So there is two sides to the sword. If you don't service me well, I will switch out completely.
Yeah.
As you've seen, if you go to a group of 100 people and ask them how many use Amazon and Flipkart, you'll find hands will get raised up, and I won't discuss the proportion there. But whoever uses one service continues to use it repeatedly. So there are challenges here that if you fail, the customer gets turned off completely because the cognitive load is so high in a digital service. Your expectation is so high. Look at what happens when you order something from Swiggy or Zomato. You will check where the rider is 10 times, right? Even though you know the meal is on the way.
Yeah.
So there is a heightened level of, let's say, our cognitive load on a human being when they're using digital services. And therefore, any break there is extremely expensive on the enterprise.
Okay. So you're saying maybe 2 or 3 years down the line is when we'll get a better sense of whether a Jio-Facebook kind of partnership is able to deliver anything tangibly. It would take at least minimum 3 years.
Yes, and it would rather deliver more or less more, I think, on the Jio side, because they are the ones innovating on the platform.
Right.
Remember, you have to look at it this way. This is Jio innovating outside its own core customer base on WhatsApp customer base. I think we should evaluate from that lens. Did it work for Jio? Because we yet have to see what WhatsApp does, because WhatsApp has got many jobs to do if it wants to become WeChat of India. I mean, it first has to publish API. Many levels of work that needs to be done to be able to really build an ecosystem around, which is like a WeChat. A lot of work there.
So my final question to you, Harish, if you had $100 million, which I suspect you do, and if you had a Facebook Jio, a Facebook, and I'm talking as a venture capitalist, as a private equity person, not as a day trader or a stock market investor. But if you had a Facebook Jio combo, you had an Amazon plus Indian telco combo, and you had a Google plus Indian telco combo, where would you bet your money?
So I would buy the Facebook Jio combo in India and buy Amazon and Google abroad.
Yeah, and explain to me why.
Because you're getting, I don't know how much value will get extracted from the Airtel Amazon kind of potential partnership. I'm saying all that value will have to flow to Amazon in any case. So, and Google again. So I'm not sure as to how, but at least the Jio Facebook partnership at least seems that they are going to integrate services and they have stacks outside of telecom ready. The other players don't. I mean, I don't see a situation where Amazon will transfer value into the company. So these are going to be a little bit of a loose partnership, whereas Jio is bringing its full stack to the table of vertical services.
Okay, so you're going to bet on Jio Facebook. Let's see how that plays out. Thank you for all the insights into what to expect. It's going to be messy, I'm sure, as you pointed out, and not easy to quantify. I think, at least stock market investors are going to wonder when it all starts adding up to the bottom line in any way. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime very soon. But definitely very exciting to see how the space evolves from here on. Now, as you heard, the doorbell has gone off 3 times, so I must go get it. I must go get it. But Harish, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll come back and chat about this as it evolves. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.